Alright, this was an interesting one last night. I figured I'd grab my thermal, point it up in the sky, and see what I could see. And it was freezing last night, and we had a freeze warning, so it was pretty damn cold. There shouldn't have been, many bugs and bats flying around, being that cold. Clear sky, but yet there were just groups and groups of these things flying up there. And even with my 700 lume spotlight shining up in the sky, I couldn't see anything with my own eyes. Nothing illuminated, only in thermal. And you can see here, slowed down. A lot of people will assume this was a bug, but when you slow it down and you look at it like this, there's no wings. It's like a plasma ball of some sort. It's a lot like the things that I capture during the day. These things right here, the black, transparent, orb anomalies that are always flying around the sky and the clouds. Look like they got some kind of energy fields around them. Can't really tell what's inside that field. Whether it's a little cube or some other kind of little craft or entity, creature, whatever. I just know they're not terrestrial bugs, or bats, or birds, or dirt on the lens. You can see, like this next photo, that thing's actually creating that kind of wake with the cloud as it's coming in. They definitely have an effect. You see it's pulling that little trail towards it. They like suck the cloud, move the cloud, print the cloud, manage the clouds, whatever they're part of there. There were no clouds last night, so I can't really say they're cloud managers. They were just literally falling from the sky, floating around. There's formations of them. This video is pretty awesome. I even caught a plane on thermal, which was kind of weird because even the contrails or the exhaust coming off of it weren't glowing. Just the plane was glowing like it was just cherry red. This is another daytime shot with the 4K P1000 inverted. Slowed down a little so you can see. Trying to show you they're the same kind of thing. Just one's during the day, one's during the night. Now I've yet to take my thermal out during the day and see if I can see these things up there. I'm probably going to do that sometime today. But I figured I'd put this little video together because last night was pretty awesome. Had me pretty excited. And there were just dozens and dozens of them. There were formations and you see they're just everywhere. This is like a lot of times I was pointing straight up in the sky and they would just float down. And you could even see the orbs in the background. Those big transparent whitish orbs are the same things I usually record in infrared on my security cameras. So the thermal picks those up too. It's heat signatures. They're just very faint compared to these things, which clearly are pulsating or glowing or strobing, because they definitely give off heat at their core. So I think these things are more like those daytime little black dot, craft anomalies that I always catch and everybody else always catches, just at night through a thermal. During day or night, none of us can really see them with our eyes. They either move too fast or you just can't see them. The frequency's too high, not in our band of that our eyes can see. And it's pretty awesome today. I'm actually having the thermal look up with your own eyes and then take a big old spotlight, flash it up there and see absolutely nothing. Just trying to figure out what the hell these things are. Some of them like that, and glowing pretty hard. They could be mistaken for a bug, I guess, if that's what you're looking for, because you're gonna mistake the distortion or the pixelation for freaking wings. But when you zoom in and slow down, there's no wings. I showed you earlier what an actual bat looks like on this thing. It's pretty damn clear. This is a $3,000 thermal. It's got a nice sensor. It's not gonna be a blurry little dot if it's a bug or an insect. You'll be able to see the wings flapping. These things don't have wings. They have kind of like energy fields around them that kind of like pulsate and You know, those black dot things during the day, they actually shoot little energy beams kind of down to the ground, kind of like their propulsion or something like that. But you can see this transparent beam that goes all the way to the ground, and they basically, you know, do like stops and then turn back up, and they shoot that beam down kind of like a thruster. See, here's the formation that I got. You know, this wasn't no flock of geese. They don't migrate over the top of this mountain, at least not now. And you look at them, they see them pulsing red. I mean, they're clearly not terribly far away, because I mean, I think this thing has an identification range, you know, close to 2,000 yards, which is almost a mile. So I mean, they can't be terribly far away. I mean, they were everywhere, just like they were floating down, and just drifting off. Some of them were flying in formations, others were just bobbing around. It's kind of like when they don't have a job to do, they just kind of float around doing their own thing, and then when the daytime's up and the clouds are out and they got to do something, then they zip around faster than hell. They definitely very well could be part of some kind of system that, you know, obfuscates things from us and manipulates the sky so it doesn't look so, you know, different to people. That's probably why these things kind of can resemble bugs so much. It's so easy for people to just assume that that's what they are, because that's what their brain and the context that they have in that brain is telling them. You know, instead of, you know, looking deeper into it and being like, well, if it's a bug or bird, you know, what kind of bat sits there and hovers? They don't. You know, what kind of bat and bird and bug swarm around like this when it's freaking 30-something degrees out? They typically don't. You gotta put all those things together to formulate your resolve before you jump to some conclusion. You know, that's for the sheeple or critical thinkers. At least people on this channel are. Here's some more examples of during the day. These were actually captured with the panorama on my Huey phone. Pretty damn, some of the clearest shots of these things. I mean, these things on this particular time, they almost look like asteroids, like rocky asteroids, but they still have that telltale energy field to kind of trail around them. Of course, they're coming in with an awesome sky, and then here's some close-ups. I mean, you see that one down in the middle. I mean, they look pretty close to what you would think an asteroid looks like, but not all of them do. But they always seem to come in with those interesting clouds, those interesting, colorful, Mammatus type clouds, and you know, when you see the right angles, triangle looking shapes, and these things are usually up there, the glowing, you know, fluorescent clouds, or the rainbow clouds. These things are always up there somewhere. You can get a nice enough camera and zoom in on any part that's glowing or looks odd. You'll usually find these little black dots up there. Here at night, they were just floating down from the sky. I stayed with this one for a pretty good little while. Pulsate, they don't flap. I got into it with a friend last night. He kept telling me they're bats. I'm like, man, come on with that shit. How long have you known me? I don't get excited over bats and bugs. I damn sure don't waste my time making videos over them. I think I get the benefit of the doubt by now. Some more examples of when I capture these things, different forms, and different times of the year, different places. This one's kind of almost looks like blue plasma clouds. It's like the center of these clouds almost look like they have a different density, and these little orbs were all up inside it that day. You know, clearly three-dimensional, little like dark spots in the center, little almost kind of like white energy fields around them sometimes. I've captured so many different types of anomalies up there, even these little, I don't know, polymorphic dark cloud insect type things that literally crawl around the magnetic fields in the clouds, hopping from one to the other. I mean, they even kind of move like fucking insects, but they're not really physical. And they can jump from cloud to cloud in like an instant. I don't know what the hell they are. I guess with the changing magnetic fields, the weakening magnetic fields, and you know, the sun's current state, maybe it just allows these things to come down lower from the upper atmosphere. Who knows? But they do definitely like to manipulate the clouds. They kind of like suck clouds to it. You can see 4 of them at the top, 1 of them at the bottom, kind of sucking a column of the cloud to it. Pretty damn strange. No, I'm going to play a little clip, but here's a little collage of some of these anomalies in the clouds, manipulating the clouds. You know, you got the little eggs, the little cocoons. You know, they kind of bleed off this cloud material, this ion bleed off. And then, of course, I'm sure everybody's watched my videos has seen these ones. You know, clearly not bugs. You know, they shoot these little transparent energy beams down to the ground, like you'll see right here if you watch it. See it shooting it down right there. You know, the trails, transparent, clearly round, no wings. You know, when they're zipping, that's normal speed. These are, I slowed down just so you can see them. You know, those are just a few examples of the daytime captures of some kind of anomalies. That's all I'll say. They're just some kind of friggin' anomalies. Now back to the thermals. Still kind of cool seeing them in a different spectrum. Seeing that they do have heat signatures. And they are up there at night too. And that was, see, that's that plane. So if that thing had a hot motor and it was shooting out hot exhaust, wouldn't you think there would be a little heat signature right behind it? And being flying at altitude, I mean, would the entire plane be glowing orange like the entire thing was hot up there in, you know, freezing cold air? I don't get that. That's just a strange. You would think you would see the hot exhaust coming out of the back, at least for, you know, a few feet, but you see no heat coming out of the back of it. And just the entire thing is glowing red. Is it a friggin' hologram, or I don't know. It's strange, and it flew kind of weird too. I figured I'd throw that in there. I thought it was kind of interesting, and see how it just dims down. Pretty damn odd. I'll actually go into the menu here in a second. I think I changed the color palette. I'm trying to see if one of them's better than the red hot. I think I go to black hot and then white hot. I need to go download the last video. I turned it into, it's called Serpa. It's a pretty awesome color palette for looking at these things at night. See, there's the menu. See, that's black hot. You see them. And you got white hot. I think I messed up. I'm still getting used to that menu. It's kind of strange. I'm going to go back. Didn't actually set it. These seem pretty good in white hot. I kind of like serpent personally. But that's it for now.